Now, let's get on to something a little different. This is a cow horn. This actually comes from a Scottish Highland, a local cow that some friends of mine had raised and were going to butcher for food. So the young man decided he would like to have one of the horns made into a powder horn. So this is kind of the rough idea of what the horn looked like, but this is after I've already scraped it down. And so you can see the difference between the raw horn that came off the head and what it looks like after I've scraped it down. You might be able to see some translucency in this horn, and that's just the type of fibers that these things come up with. Very translucent and amber colored. And when I'm working horn, I'll chuck them up in my vise. Not everybody does this because I've got this really neat shoe material that I can lock it up sturdily so I have something I can use a scraper with. And then from the back end, coming forward, you shear away these nice curled horn. You can scrape either way, but what you'll see is because of the growth of the horn comes from the base up, it's like hair. It grows in layers. And by going against the grain like you would in wood, it wants to form fuzzies, little burrs of the grain of the horn popping up. By going from the base forward to the tip of the horn, you then can get nice clean curls, a clean material, and get down to a nice smooth finish. And this is all I use typically when I make a powder horn for the rifles and pistols that I build. You can use files, rasps to take off the majority, scrape it to get the finish. Some guys like to use steel wool. I prefer using fine pumice or rotten stone to polish, but I like seeing the scraper marks in them because if you look at originals, a lot of times the scraper marks are still evident. The skill of the scraping determines the finish of the horn. Scraping real tough and hard like that will give you minor flat spots. By bringing it up and being a little bit more judicious, you get these real fine feathery pieces coming off that you can actually have a finished polished surface just with using a scraper. Now this scraper is a high-speed steel stock. I also use reciprocating hacksaw blades that I fashion into scrapers. And I will use high carbon steel scrapers like cabinet makers do, but I'm lazy and don't feel like forming a burr when I'm working on cow horn. It's very abrasive. So using high speed steel with a 600 drum sander gives you a nice sharp edge and lasts for a long time. Some guys will use a piece of broken glass. I prefer not. I paid for too many glass panes as a kid, so I stay away from broken or breaking glass.
If you're interested in learning traditional woodworking with hand tools, visit my website at woodandshop.com, where you can find free video tutorials, buying guides, and reviews. Make sure you subscribe to my regular blog posts and also check out my 10 steps for getting started. Enjoy!